Welcome back. Good morning. This is Daybreak. The hashtag on X is Citizen Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. Meg Mushoki is the deputy convener, Manifesto Yetu Coalition. She's part of the panel this morning. Good morning, Meg.
Good morning.
Many thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Next one is Dev Owango. He is a youth leader, also joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Appreciated. Valentine Aswan is an industrial chemist, also joins us this morning here on the broadcast. Good morning, Valentine.
Good morning.
Much appreciated. At the top of the panel, John Odhiambo is coordinator, Wazalendo Movement. Good morning.
Good morning, Ayub.
Thanks for your time as well.
Thank you.
On the far end is Steve Biko, youth activist and environmental researcher. Steve, good morning.
Good morning.
And Kip Korir Brian is the chairperson of the UDA Youth Congress. Good morning.
Morning.
Appreciated, ladies and gentlemen. Many thanks for your time and making time here for the broadcast. Let's talk about the state of the nation from young people's perspective. First, I come to you, Meg. What do you make of the President's State of the Nation address to Parliament and to the nation yesterday?
Thank you so much, Ayub, for that question. As I was coming here, I was still contemplating on the things that the President said. I also watched Citizen's TV's news yesterday to just see which ones of those promises or those things that he said he has achieved are true and untrue. And my question was, based on the many lies that were told yesterday, or things that have not been verified, that are not fact, based on KNBS, who is giving the President this information? If the President is that misinformed about the issues of the state, how much more the common citizen about that misinformation? So we are in an era where a lot of young people in this country are educated, as well as citizens. We have a high level of political consciousness. So we're looking for information. We have this data, and when the President comes in front of us to make more promises to the people of Kenya, yet there are promises that have not been fulfilled, when he does not mention of the human rights violations, of the asks of young people about how we're going to make sure that justice is delivered for the people who lost their lives. You know, when he doesn't mention about the security of the people of Kenya internally, then there's a lot to question on where we're headed to as a state.
Okay. Yes, Dev.
The President's State of the Nation yesterday was strategically strong because the President took us where we began his leadership in 2022, and in 3 years' time, he was framing this period as a recovering period. So the many that he said, the many that he has done, and the plans that he has with even the 5 trillion infrastructure project, where he wants to build the 21 roads across the country, and his focus on agriculture and on the foreign exchange, the dollar against the shilling, the inflation rate where it is today compared to where it was when he took power. So where he is today, as of yesterday when he was giving the State of the Nation address, I think I think the President is taking the nation in the right direction.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Valentine.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome.
In regards to the State of the Nation addressed by the President yesterday, I see it my opinion is that he was not really addressing the common mwananchi issues. His main focus was on the State of the Nation in setting it in a global perspective. So he failed to address the killings that happened during the Maandamano that we witnessed last year. He failed to address things like industrialization, which when he was talking about how the country is going to be in the next few years,
the aspects that he was basing on were not what we expected to hear. Yeah, so the address of the president on the State of the Nation was 50-50.
Okay, 50-50. Yes.
Yeah.
John.
Oh, thank you, Ayub, for giving me this opportunity.
Karibu sana.
Asante. To me, President Ruto has tried. According to his speech yesterday, the State of the Nation, he reflected on so many issues, and we now know where we are as a country. Right now, we are aware that inflation has dropped to 4.6%. The affordable housing, the kind of the projects he's doing a good work. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, keep correct.
Thank you so much, Abdikadir. For the President's State of the Nation address, there was actually a vision that he shared 2 years ago on the achievement that we have achieved as a government and also as the party in terms of the intervention that we came up with it. So it came across on matters of economy because that's where now all the country is heading in terms of improving the living standard of the people and ensuring that our country is all developing to the level that he wants. So this was the shared prosperity.
Let me just pause you and fix your mic still, okay, to get clear. Once we sort that, I'll come back to you. Proceed, okay? Yes, Steve.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ayub Abdikadir, for the gesture so that I be here.
Karibu sana.
Yeah, going straight to the State of the Nation address yesterday by the President, to me as Steve, yeah. Honestly I can say that my anticipation were not met. I was really waiting, Mr. President, to discuss on the issues, just the way he started, that he was having the vision for the Kenyans. And then he went straight away and said that he is now having a story to tell of the promises that he gave during the campaigns and now the fulfillment. The truth is, it has taken 3 years since the KK government, the Kenya Kwanza gotten into the leadership position. But up to now, the truth is, what was being discussed yesterday, the address yesterday, was not the anticipation of myself, of what I was expecting, and even the Kenyans at large. I was really waiting the president to work on to address the nation on insecurity, food security as well, and also to tell us the factual figures and facts concerning the infrastructure, health, education, and we have seen that there are a lot of sectors that are collapsing. So I was really waiting to see that honestly Mr. President is having a vision for this country, and for 3 good years down the line, what has he achieved?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you mentioned food security, but he was very categorical on agriculture. And he said, we are using 500 billion Kenya shillings every year to import food. To address this, he said, as I mentioned earlier, we have already made interventions to reduce imports of maize, sugar, edible oil, rice, and wheat, but our efforts are undermined by the natural limits of rain-fed agriculture, and you are environmentalists to that effect, and now shifting the attention to agriculture innovation to address our food security concerns. To be fair to him, he did point that out, is it?
Yeah, he did point that out. And as I was, that's the way I've said, yeah, that the anticipation of what I was really expecting for the food security. It is true that he talked about that we should not be waiting for the rain for the citizens to eat, meaning that he's working seriously on irrigation, yeah, and even the dams. But from the manifesto back during 2022, the president had a vision of assisting in the construction of 100 dams. As we speak, it has reduced from 100 to 50 dams, and also 200 mega dams. But how many of them have been honestly properly worked on? Okay. Yesterday, when he was addressing the nation, we realized that is when he is mentioning a list, numerous number of dams that that are still underway to be constructed, and we are just having only 1 year to the end of this era. So when are they going to be worked on? And we have to be very realistic. Okay. Also, still, Mr. Ayub, yes, still on the production, the subsidy. He talked about the subsidy. It is true that he said that they had to realize that they were to scrap off the temporary subsidy. So by scrapping off, we were really waiting that we get something as Kenyans that are going, that if he is to assist in ensuring that the subsidy is scrapped off, then we have something meaningful that is going to work for the nation in terms of production. He also talked about the scientific targeted intervention of the system, where the regime is ensuring that the cartels, the middlemen, the brokers are scrapped off so that the fertilizers to reach the farmers. Okay. But the reality is, even the subsidized fertilizers that are reaching the farmers, at the point of their usage, you realize that they are fake fertilizers. Okay. What is the sense of now this scientific integrated target? Yes.
Okay. Keep Korir's mic fine?
One,
okay,
two,
yes,
three.
yes. Please go ahead, yeah.
So, as you said before, and whichever that I've executed but it hasn't got into the mic well. So mine was, the State of the Nation yesterday was actually the achievement that we have achieved so far in terms of the promise that we gave and such intervention of the 5 principles, which is the housing, agriculture, MSMEs, digital economy, and also healthcare. So those are the things that President was talking about in terms of the achievement and how much he was able to reinstate the economy of this country. So the President's State of the Nation address yesterday was purely on the achievement that we have achieved so far. But again, there are all of these issues that are coming in place. Like my friend has said, a lot of dams that need to be built in terms of provision of water so that we can improve our agriculture sector and also provide food for this country. So the President's State of the Nation address was actually based on the achievement. But again, we still have things that are still going on. And I'm urging the young people to have patience for that. And everything that we have not even captured yesterday on the State of the Nation address, we are hoping that next time, when we'll be doing these things, we will consider and we'll make sure that we present them so that we can satisfy your expectation.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Meg, coming to you, there's one line the President mentioned when he addressed the country yesterday. He said history has summoned his generation and our generation as well. So what's your take as young people into the next frontier, and how much participation is going to be coming from the young people as Kenya now begins the lift towards the first world status?
Thank you, Ayub, for that question. Maybe just allow me to highlight something before I get to that. Yeah. When I listened to the President talking about Malaysia and the President of the country coming to Kenya and him wanting us now, he has this development narrative. And looking at the education system in Kenya, it is education that made China, Finland, and Singapore get where it has gotten today by having accessible, free, quality public education. And we are having that currently highly interfered with. So the young people of Kenya from 2024 have gathered, and we decided from just the conversations we had last year to come up with a movement, a consortium or a coalition that we're calling the Manifesto Yetu as a generation, to try and see how we can solve some of these problems, not as government, but as young actors, because we have said many times about the healthcare access, about we're now having affordable housing, but how many young people can afford the amount of money that these houses are being charged to acquire? How many young people can afford to pay 6,000 entirely for SHA for an entire year? As young people, we have consolidated our asks as Manifesto Yetu. We have different youths from different areas. We have youths from the academia, from the political sphere, from the trade unions, from private sector. And we want to come up with a document that we're launching on the 11th of December. As a generation, we've said enough of the streets. Let us bring everything that we took to the streets into a book. Let us show the government, this is what you're saying, and this is what we'd like to see in the coming days. We're putting it in form of asks, needs, rights, because our constitution says we the people. and the sovereignty of the people of Kenya is with the people. We have given the government the authority to lead us. Then we have the right to say to the government, these are some of the things. During the State of the Nation, you may say what you have achieved as government or what you want us to achieve, but then there's what the people on the ground and the young people want. So we are putting that into a document. We will be launching it on the 11th of December, and we will tell the state, from this document, you can pick policies, you can pick laws that can be implemented, because this is how the young people want their jobs. You are providing jobs and affordable housing. Do young people want Mjenga with all the education they have? Do they want to clean Nairobi River? Do they want to clean Nairobi County? Can we have decent jobs? Do we have to go to the UAE to get jobs and have jobs that make us slaves? We really need to have decent jobs, and that is what young people are asking. The education system, is it affordable? Is it accessible? Is it adequate? Is it available for everyone? So just among the few things that young people are trying to put together, and we are also coming up with solutions. These are policies that can be adopted. They can be formulated into policies, and we'll be inviting the state as well to come and just see what is it that young people really want. Thank you.
And Dave, where is the point of consolidation between young people who are yearning for change, good governance, the calls we had in 2024, and still a very active proportion of our population that Kenya going forward cannot do development, or even this much talked about Singapore model that the president yesterday talked about at length, cannot happen without the involvement of young people. But how then is going to, where is the point of convergence between what you young people want and what the generation of the president wants, and where then, and how then can we address the blame that has risen from why we had stagnated post-independence?
Allow me to say that we are really faulting a president for dreaming big. Dreaming big is not bad. Him wanting Kenya to be like Singapore, the Asian tigers, is not bad. But because our generation has yearned so much for a lot of things that we forget that we are not the only generation living in Kenya. So there has to be a point. There has to be a point where we have to meet. And after the Gen Z protests in the year 2024, the president called and asked the young people, "Can we come together and talk about this, so that we can see where we are going to move as with this program as a nation?" But people refused to come to the table. Yeah, people refused after the Gen Z protests.
But there was an online session that they had conducted. They invited him actually. So yes. he was onboarded.
But later the president asked, "Can we come and sit? Can we choose people who can represent us in this thing? Because we have to be leader. We have to get leaders to lead us. We cannot be leaderless forever." So the point where we have to go, and because the president literally knows what we want. I think he has Gen Zs in his house, his children, yes. And all our leaders across, I believe they have children who are also Gen Zs, and they know how to deal with them. I felt at some point that we had fought enough, and it was time to now go, because that is where we pay taxes. I don't know why we are always fighting where we pay taxes. Because either way, at some point, you'll have to pay a tax at the end of the day. Why wouldn't you go and sit down with the tax collector and talk about what you want, and then they tell you what they want, and then you come into a point of convergence? Because the president, even if he builds 50 dams today, they will not help him. They're going to help future generations. Sorry. Even if he builds the 21 roads that he wants to do well across the country, it is not him to benefit from all those roads. It is Kenyans. And all the time when we talk about our generation, we forget that we even have Generation X, and there are also future generations that will also come. So mostly we forget much that as we fight, in the process of us fighting for all these rights, in the process of us agitating and talking about what we want the government to do to us or for us, we must agree that we must sit with them down because it is them that have the resources.
Okay.
Everything is with the government. We might have the brains, but even experts are also in the government. She mentioned something about education, and for the first time in the history of this country, President Ruto, we have a budget of 700 billion for education from 390.
From 600 plus.
From 600 to
29.
To 700 billion this year. And yesterday he mentioned that he wanted to strengthen STEM, where we can, as a country, we can promote innovation and education, where we wanted to improve the budget from negative 0.8% to 2% of GDP of this country. So I believe that those are things that we can sit down, that you have done this now. How can we integrate it so that it can also be felt on the ground?
Okay.
Yes.
So, and the push to the new frontiers will, of course, be done with your enormous energies, ladies and gentlemen. Valentine, when we get back from the break, and gentlemen, I'll come to you. We still have time to run through all the key issues that the President yesterday talked about when he addressed the nation from Parliament. The hashtag on next is Citizen Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. Back with more after the break. Stay tuned.